Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us. Hope your weekend's starting off well. It's May 23rd, 2026. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show, hosted by Mike Overson, Luminate Bank, right here in the Twin Cities. Scott Wolmering, and I'm Ryan O'Neill with the Minnesota Real Estate Team, RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Hope your Memorial Day weekend is starting off well. Excited to be here in studio with you. We've got Mac Thielen with us today, Opportunities in Business. Should be a great show. Scott, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, good to be here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Like Ryan said, this is the Minnesota Real Estate Show, and we're live and local downtown Minneapolis every Saturday. 612-294-6949 is how you can join the show. We love your comments and feedbacks and questions during the show. It kind of keeps it rolling and keeps it live and interesting. And you can also check us out at mnrealestateshow.com if you want to find out a little bit about the team.
Mac, what do you think? Welcome.
Thank you. Happy Memorial Day weekend.
Good to see you. Hey, you got a busy weekend. I'm happy to hear you're not just working. You got a little golf action coming up here. We appreciate you taking the time coming in.
Thank you. Yep, 11 o'clock tee time across town, but we'll get it done.
Yeah, and you guys were talking a little golf there. Scott, you're a golfer, aren't you?
I'm a golfer, yep, and Bent Creek's where you go,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Good track, and I play out the Legends, which if you're ever looking for a good golf course, the Legends in Prior Lake, Lakeville is an incredible course.
And Scott and I both have a hole in one there.
Yes, we do on number 5. I think if anybody's got a hole in one at the Legends, it's on number 5. Yeah.
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's just a little 110, 15 yards.
What percent of golfers have a hole in one, do you think?
2?
Yeah, I wouldn't say a lot.
Not a lot.
Oh.
That's cool. That's cool. Hey, we're getting ready to go live. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Again, 612-294-6949. You can interrupt us at any point. Happy to take any questions. Thanks for joining us. Good morning. Welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thank you for joining us. Hope your Memorial Day weekend is starting off well. It is May the 23rd, 2026. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show, hosted by Mike Overson of Luminate Bank, Scott Wolmering, and I'm Ryan O'Neill with the Minnesota Real Estate Team and RE/MAX Advantage Plus. 612-294-6949 is how you can interrupt us at any point here by phone or text. We always welcome your questions. Scott, good morning to you, buddy.
Yeah, good to be here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show, and we are live local downtown Minneapolis every Saturday for the next hour. Love your comments. Like Ryan said, 612-294-6949 is how you can join us. Before we roll into the show here, I want to say congratulations to my oldest daughter, Jordan now Swanson. She's having our first grandchild in July. Today is her baby shower.
Oh,
so everybody's flying into town. Everybody's going there, and I'm actually going to James, her husband's. What are they calling it? I don't know. It's a baby shower for men. We all bring diapers and wipes, so it's a pretty easy thing. But we're pumped to be the first grandkids. So.
Scott, congratulations, young man.
I'm very, very excited.
You're gonna be a great grandpa.
I'm gonna be a grandpa.
Yes.
Not a great grandpa, not yet, but I will be a good grandpa. Yes.
Thinking of Grandpa Larry. Thinking of your dear father.
Always runs through my mind. Yep, and Grandma Mary drove in from Illinois, so she's here for the day, so it should be a lot of fun.
Hey, excited we got Mac Thielen, Opportunities in Business, with us here today. Mac, thanks for coming in, bud.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to be talking a little bit here right after the first break, too, about businesses. Mac is a business broker, a ton of experience, worked with a lot of great companies, really all over the Twin Cities. Minnesota. Before we do that, however, Scott, we do like to do a market update. Real estate and mortgage, new listings here in the Twin Cities up about 4.5%. There were 1,751 new properties that came on the market. Pending sales, wow, up 14.2% year over year, 1,242 pendings. And then the inventory is also up 9%. We're up to 9,999.
No, I was thinking,
Yeah.
were you going to hit 10 before June? That would have been, we have not for a long time.
Yeah, that is interesting, Scott. A 14% increase with that. And just again, a mortgage update. Interest rate wise, average 30-year fixed is right about 6.65. So that's down. It's pretty flat, kind of comparing year over year, with kind of everything going on throughout the world with Iran, with the war, that type of thing. Scott, your analysis?
Well, the analysis is, again, for those that haven't caught the show for the last 20 years, a balanced market, the Twin Cities is about 19,000 homes. That means you've got equal amount of buyers, equal amount of sellers. It means it takes, a couple, 3 months to sell your house and so on and so forth. So we're only at 10 or 9,999. We're at 10,000 homes. So still a heavy seller's market. But 2 years ago, we were at about 6,000 homes on the market at this time. So yes, 10,000 homes is still very little in the Twin Cities, still an aggressive market. But I've seen more price reductions. I've seen, right now, for example, in Lakeville, if you're buying a single family home in Lakeville from 600,000 to 800,000, you have about 48 homes to look at. 2 years ago, you would have had about 4 to look at. And so make no mistake about it, it's still an aggressive market, but 10,000 homes, we're starting to feel the difference. We're starting to see price reductions. We're starting to see things sit a little bit longer. And it depends on the price range and the area you're in of whether it's a boom, I got 15 offers on my house, or crickets chirping and you're not getting a showing.
Hey, kind of a fun question. Feel free to call or text us if we had a texter yesterday. If money were no object, okay, if money were no object, would it be a lake home, a downtown penthouse, a hobby farm, or a cabin up north? Where are you living and why? Where are you living and why?
Oh boy, if money is no object, and you're just buying one.
Yep, you're just buying
one. So if money was no object, I'm a lake guy. I'm a Bemidji kid, far and true. I would do a lake home, and I would probably do a lake home in the Cross Lake area of Brainerd. And you can get a pretty nice shack up there if money's no object.
Mac, what do you think? What do you think? Money's no object. I know you with your 4 kids. We were just talking. You're a busy father as well. What do you think? Money no object. Where are you going to be living?
Well, we'd probably be neighbors.
Yeah. I could tell that. Max from Montana.
Yeah,
He's not
right
living
away.
in a penthouse downtown. Yeah.
Right down the lakefront.
Hey, Josh, what do you think? Where are you living, bud? Where's your choice? You get one choice, one house. Could be anywhere. Yeah, lake home, downtown, hobby farm, cabin up north.
Mountain/hills of Colorado.
Ooh, why?
Well, the wife is from there, and I just think that's as good as it gets, even though you kind of can be very far from reality as far as grocery stores.
So when you picture that, do you picture log home?
Nothing too Lincoln log like or anything like that, but definitely more of a modern, I guess, house in the woods. I wouldn't go log home.
It could be a barn dominium.
Could be well, everybody's going to be buying a barn dominium in the next few years.
Hey, we're up against already our first
What
break.
about you? What about you?
I think, it is a good question. I never think about what I would say.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
You know what? I do love New Prague. I just love a small town, living in a small town.
So money's no object. So you put the biggest house. See the O'Neill foundation of me in New Prague is what you build.
Being a simple guy, I loved our house we grew up in. I think about our house. It was 50s Rambler, great neighbors, great neighborhood, just kind of a small town, simple.
Yeah.
Small town and simple. That's kind of the way I'm wired. But hey, we are up against our first break. We're going to continue the discussion here. 612-294-6949. Mac Thielen's coming up right after the break. We're going to be talking about some business stuff. Before we do, Heidi Huseth has a listing in St. Louis Park, Scott, 1316 Kilmer Avenue for $368,000. It's a $368,000. It's a 3-bedroom Rambler. It's got a main entry deck, fully fenced-in backyard, beautifully finished hardwood floors, a nice addition, gas fireplace, move-in ready. It's a great location, close to dining, highways, shopping. Again, 1316 Kilmer Avenue in St. Louis Park, $368,000. Miss Heidi Huseth, wow, she's having an awesome year, Scott.
She's having an incredible year. I was just looking at the Ryan puts out a little posting of where everybody sits. and Heidi is right there at the top or second to the top.
Yeah.
Incredible year.
Top
Great
of the
agent, great
leaderboard.
agent.
Wonderful human being. Congrats to Heidi. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. So, Mac, did you grow up in the town?
Yeah.
Or were you in you were in town. So I think
Town in
Montana, I
Dallas.
do think
Yeah.
cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, we were after I left and I was living in Missoula. I was on the fly fishing 5 days a week. I mean, it's right there. You
Yeah.
walk
Yeah.
out, you know,
Yeah.
when you get west.
So,
it
so are
was
you a
more
big
of
fisherman?
Yeah. I was.
Yeah.
You gotta
You
kinda-
were.
You got to kind of pick a lane when you got all
When
the
you
kids.
got all the kids,
Yeah,
yeah,
so you
exactly.
can't
You give-
fish and
You
golf.
give up your love. You give up one of your loves.
Give up one or the other.
Well, now that you're
Yeah.
in Edina,
Yeah.
right? Is
Yeah.
there fishing? I mean, I suppose.
Well, you could probably fish. What is it called? 9 Mile Creek.
Yeah,
or
you could do
something.
9 Mile
I see-
Creek.
I see kids on bikes going by and stuff.
You could do it, man.
Yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
bit different fishing than
Yeah.
you had in Montana. I'm not sure. I'm not sure catching sheephead out of
Sheephead.
9 Mile Creek's real fun.
Oh man. So businesses, and we're going to continue the discussion here
Yeah.
on CCO, but you got a great operation. Tell people a little bit about your business.
Well, so last year we participated in 37 transactions. So that's from start to finish, from valuation to packaging to marketing to through due diligence to closing and transition. So from start to finish, and our staff, our agents, our associate brokers range from a couple years of experience to 35 years.
Wow.
So it's, we work as a team and we have a vast knowledge base, if you would. And, so we lean on market data as well as internal experience and data that we have internally from the last 45 years of.
So I would think selling a business is probably, I think it's probably a complicated deal. You got to figure out, okay, what is this worth? How do you find a buyer, the transaction, the financing? How'd you get into this?
Well, I got into it as a former business owner, multiple different companies, but I was then consulting startups to bring them to solvency, and I would retain a little bit of ownership and kind of consult as we go. And Bob and Tom, the founders, discovered me, thought I would be good as a broker under them. So that was the start, and kind of took it from there and took over 4 years ago.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. And Mike Wichello, who works with
Yep,
you,
yeah.
is part of the operation.
Yep. Fantastic associate broker.
He's a
for
great
us.
guy.
He's up at the lake right now.
He is.
So,
What's up with that?
I know. It's like,
Okay, we're going back live. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We appreciate a good morning. A lot of nice comments from folks. So thank you all, wherever you're catching us. Welcome back to the second section of the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We do appreciate you joining us. 612-294-6949 is how you can connect with us at any point. Wanted to touch on one of their listings, Scott. Fong Cow with the Minnesota Real Estate Team and RE/MAX Advantage Plus has one in Bloomington, 1436 East Old Shakopee Road for $400,000. It's a 4-bedroom home. It's an open lot, fantastic condition. It's got a bright living room, bamboo flooring, oak hardwood, eat-in kitchen, a dedicated dining area, and it's lots of updates. Anderson windows, new water heater, new dishwasher, newer roof, and it's a walkout basement leading directly to the garage. The open house is today. Fong's going to be there today, the 23rd, 12 to 2, 1436 East Old Shakopee Road in Bloomington for $400,000. Check that one out. We do have Mac Thielen with us in studio today, the owner of a company called Opportunities in Business. So with our radio show over the last 20 years, Scott and I have wanted to find great partners in all sections that pertain to real estate in Minnesota. One of those is businesses. People will reach out and say, hey, I own this building in Montgomery, Minnesota. I own a business. We want to sell it. As agents, we are not involved with the selling of the business. We need an expert. That's why we have somebody like Mac. Mac, good morning to you. Thanks for being here. We were just talking a little bit. You did 37 transactions last year, your company, from start to finish in 1 year with businesses. First of all, congratulations. Tell people a little bit about your operation.
Well, I said we're business brokerage and low market M&A. So we deal with companies generally around 50 million in revenue on down, right? That's kind of our lane. Industry wide, we don't have, at any given time, we'll be in a certain vertical of manufacturing or service, B2B, retail, what it may be. But we have a broad experience level over the last 40 years in a varied industry types.
Mac, I was thinking about your industry with you coming on today. And one thing that obviously we've been talking about in real estate in general, and the whole world's talking about, is AI. And, we use it now for just one additional evaluation, or when you've got real kind of want to get in the weeds on things, you can use AI to kind of get in the weeds on things. Is it something that's helping your business? Are you even seeing it being used yet? Or do you think it's coming?
Well, AI is definitely here and coming, but it's also been here ultimately since the internet came out, as we, in different integrations and capabilities. A lot of business owners that are listening here, their business started before internet, and ours did as well, right? So a lot of what we're seeing AI in day to day is just kind of educating and double checking, fact checking, kind of digging in, getting some mundane tasks. So AI, as far as a big disruptor, who knows what it's going to be like in 5 years or 2 years, but we see it more supporting business owners. And it does value the dirty jobs a little more, because AI is not going to come in and run trucks and clean your drains, right? They're not going to put a roof on your house. So it does, there's a term, it's AI proof business, right? That's kind of we're hearing from buyers. So it does, if you do have a business where, yes, AI could help you by maybe designing that install of the plumbing for the addition, so it'll help you and not hinder you. So
yeah, that's interesting though. You think about that. Generally with your 37 businesses, the transactions that the folks you helped last year, any kind of big picture business things you're seeing, like climate wise overall with those businesses, and with the sale and transaction, just kind of overall with the market, was it a lot of owners saying, hey, I'm done, I've been doing this my whole life, time to move on? Are there other reasons? When people say, hey, I'm looking to sell, obviously some probably unhappy things, if there's a death or that type of thing.
Well, you've got your, the uncontrollable factors such as death, divorce, partnership dispute, burnout. But a lot of transitions, a lot of companies we work with are legacy companies. They're family companies. They were maybe started by grandpa. The next generation's running it now. And that third generation just doesn't have the passion that grandpa and grandma did.
Well, third generation doesn't know what work is.
You mean nice.
That's the problem. Grandpa's generation knew what work is. Dad's generation knew what work is. This generation wants to make sure they've got enough PTO time for time off.
You be nice. You be nice, Scott. No, it is interesting though. I think, are there a lot of people that say, I'm going to do it myself, Mac? In real estate.
And there's also, there's a lot of corporate layoffs and ageism as well, to where corporations will say terminate a 50-year-old ad exec, right, who's fantastic, but you can hire someone who's 22 with all these fancy tools, doesn't have the relationships, but they get the ageism is out, where they can bring immense value to a small company, and 50 is young and fresh and skilled. And so we're seeing a lot of those handoffs too, from corporate getting pushed out and they want to do it themselves.
Yeah, I would think so. So Ryan, you can probably back me up on this. In real estate, I would say probably the number one question asked by buyers is, why are they selling?
Oh yeah.
So that's, and of course, a lot of times we can't get that information because if you represent the seller, you might not want to disclose it, but that's the number one question. And I would think in businesses, it would even be more, what are they hiding? What are they not telling me? If it's such a great business, why are they selling? I would think you'd hear that a lot.
number one.
Yeah.
It's the first question. And another question I ask of sellers is, what are you going to do after?
Oh, sure.
Because if it's not a simple transaction, you're going to move into a house, you're going to downsize. We want to get closer to the grandkids or whatever it may be. Is your spouse going to want you sitting in that chair every day in front of them where they've been used to you being out of
the answer to that is
house.
I can answer they don't.
Yeah.
They don't want you there.
What are you going to do with your time? You have to be prepared because it's generally a 6 to 12-month process. And there's a lot to think about during that time.
Do
So-
most owners stay on for a 6-month, year, 2-year time period to help pass that business?
Yeah, typically we see between about 90 days and a year.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they're staying on. And from a valuation standpoint, is it really industry specific? Like, I'm assuming it's a multiple of what the business made for the year. Is that really industry specific, or is there kind of a general rule?
There are industry benchmarks, if you would, but say I made widgets and it cost me $1 to sell them and I sold them for 75 cents, I'm going to have revenue of $50 million. If I made widgets and it was $1 and I sold them for $2, yeah, my revenue is going to be 10 million, but I'm making money.
Mm.
So you can't use like I looked up on AI and it said that I should get 1.2 times my revenue.
God, that's got to drive you nuts right now.
Oh.
I looked it up. It was all right. With us. Oh no, Scott. I looked my house up in Zillow. I got a Zestimate.
Mm.
My house is worth it. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's not right. And I would think that'd be the same thing with this. Oh no, I looked it up on Google. I had AI tell me, and this is what it's worth.
Yeah, it's but when you go through and explain, a normal business person is going to say, okay,
I get it.
You're right. I just it told me this. I thought, and there's a lot of with AI playing lawyer, right?
Oh, sure.
So like people plug in say a contract, and then they come back with all these, these are my contingencies I should have. It's like, well, you're not buying the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, that's right.
You're buying a janitorial company. You've got your contracts and you've got your labor.
You're not buying the Timberwolves. It is interesting. You see it a lot in real estate too. You can see it now, I would say, with email communication. You can tell a lot when people are using AI on email responses. It's almost a certain font. I forget the name of the font. Always the long dash. Aptos. Aptos, the long dash. Always the long dash. That's a giveaway. You know what I mean?
The bolds.
Yeah, when it doesn't, you can tell this is not them writing it,
It is nice though when you write like I write with your fat fingers, especially on text, everything's wrong. And so it's nice to then have AI clean it up a little bit so it looks like you're like.
I've noticed you've had some really eloquent emails to me lately.
Sweet, much sweeter.
Yeah, I've noticed you've been really thoughtful in your messages to me.
Yes.
I'm like, wow. Hey, Mac, we appreciate you coming on today. We know you and your family got a busy holiday weekend. Best way for people to connect with you, business owners, maybe they're looking to sell, maybe entrepreneurs looking for a business. You've got a wonderful operation. Best way for people to connect with you.
Really, it's our website. And then you can go through, you can see Mike Wichello's mug on there as
Yes.
well. And that's OIB as in Opportunities in Business, Minnesota.com. So OIBMN.com. That's kind of top of your head while you're driving around. Can remember that.
Yeah, great job. Well done. We love working with you. I encourage folks to reach out. Again, Opportunities in Business. Have a great golf round today.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we appreciate Mac coming on here today. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Nice job, Mac.
Cool. Thank you.
Nice
very
job.
much.
Have a great time.
Right.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
folks,
great.
reach out. Reach out if you own a business, looking to buy a business. This is the right guy to talk to. So, yeah, appreciate it. Have
All
some
right,
fun.
let's go play.
Yeah, have some.
Suicide.
Yeah, have some fun. Yeah, these guys were talking golf beforehand. I'm the one non-golfer in the room here, Scott.
Hey, you don't golf.
You know what? I don't know why. I've never gotten into it. My brother Tom is a golfer. Dan is a golfer too. But see you, Mac. Yeah, you're a good golfer though, dude.
Well, yeah, I was supposed to get in your way if you're helping the elderly and you're helping the sick and the needy. It's hard to fit in 4 hours of just all about you golf.
Oh man. Hey, we've got some fun questions that have been coming in here too. This was another one. they said if someone gave you $100,000 to improve your house, what would you do? What would you do first? What do you think about that, Scott? If somebody gave you $100,000 to improve your house?
Well, I mean, at this time, it's a little bit different. But when I had some of the houses, I'm thinking normally I think like we give advice on the show, I would put it in the big areas. I'd put it in the kitchen. I'd put it in the master bedroom.
Yeah.
I would put it in. Those are normally the main two. Your kitchen and your master bedroom are kind of your biggest bangs for bucks. If you
How about for just kind of fun?
Yeah, I was gonna say if you had a house that did not have, I always really loved. We built a house in Credit River when the kids were all home, so there was 5 kids and Jen and I. We really enjoyed the screen porch on the back. So if you didn't have one, if you didn't have one, you could build one of that.
Yeah, that's totally
you can
nice.
Have fireplaces out there. You can have TVs, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it is. That's nice. I mean, the people like the porches.
What about you?
I think I would. One thing, I don't know, maybe a pool.
Yeah,
Pool would be fun.
Pools are. I'll tell you what. We had in that same Credit River house.
Yeah, you did.
We loved.
You loved your pool.
We loved the pool. I mean,
for the neighbors, the kids.
Well, and it was nice because all our kids were, anywhere up to that point, junior high and then eventually high school. Everyone was at our house. So
yeah.
You always knew where everybody was at. You knew everybody was safe. It was just fun. So I love the pool.
Yeah.
Although from a real estate perspective, I will tell you, you're much better off buying a house that has a pool than you are taking your $100,000 and putting it in the pool, because when you sell it, you get about $35,000 out of that.
Yeah, they were commenting just on, again, Realtor.com releases a lot of stats. They said 2026 has been the strongest spring for new listings since 2022. We can feel that too. You can feel it in the market. Here we go. We're going back live on air. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope your Memorial Day is going well. Welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We appreciate you joining us. It was fun to have Mac Thielen on. Before we dive back in, Scott, just our minute of hope with the O'Neill Foundation of Hope. This week met a wonderful mother. Her name is Brittany, a mother of 8 children. And after enduring years in an abusive relationship, she made a difficult decision to leave and create a safe environment for herself and her kids. She found a secure place where she can start over and rebuild their lives. But there was an obstacle standing in her way. Of course, a security deposit was needed to move into this housing. Thanks to you all, thanks to your support as donors, our foundation was able to help her obtain the finances for the deposit, allowing her to move in, her and her children move into a safe spot. Thank you to everyone. Again, each week we work to help families, individuals in our communities experiencing unplanned hardships. And life, as we know, Scott, can be hard. Life throws us a lot of curveballs, and we're just honored to be able to help to step in and do our best.
Well, and think about that. I mean, we all have tough things in our life, but being a single mother with 8 kids just because your ex is a jerk and bails, think about if you're put in that situation, what do? You can say, oh, well, they should have planned better, whatever. You get caught with 8 kids, you're desperate to take care of them. It's just cool that you guys give her the opportunity. And that's kind of what your whole thing is you're not taking care of people long term. You're giving them a boost at the time where they need some help. And you're looking for people that want that and are looking to they want to engage. They're not just looking for handouts.
Yeah, big families. It was interesting. Mac, we were just talking with Mac that was here. He was one of 7. I'm the youngest of 6. It's interesting. I had a couple of texters that just said, this texter said, I'd moved to a big cabin on Lake Minnetonka from earlier. And then a comment says, can you comment on the fraud that's going on in the daycare world? Is there actual need for the care that needs to be filled? What are your thoughts? Is this the worst time probably to get into a daycare business?
Very good question. I will tell you this, before I was in real estate, for those that haven't caught the show, I owned 3 daycare centers. They were newborns through 12 years old. So they were daycares and active preschools. And I can tell you, from a business owner that owned daycare centers that had daycare centers with year waiting lists sometimes to get into our centers, that there is not a lot of money in daycare centers. We did not get any assistance. So when I first heard about that, where they were getting huge checks from the state, immediately my antenna went up because, we never got anything like that. And I'm not even sure how you would qualify to do it. So that immediately is always scary when you've got outside money coming in and that volume. It was shocking. If I was to say, would I buy a daycare right now? Boy, I'll tell you what, you just really want to have you really want to have a guy like Mac to sit down with you, go through the numbers. I'll tell you and go through who you are personally. Ryan and I are the same. I was not a great daycare owner because my families would fall behind. So like my accounts receivable was just crazy. I mean, there was so much money owed because families couldn't make their payment. And of course, I didn't want to kick them out of the center because they're kicking the kids out. And so eventually you find out that you've got all this money owed to you. So there's all that kind of stuff. You kind of have to be, you have to have that kind of being a hard case guy or woman to make sure that you're collecting the money. But outside of that, there's a lot of really cool things about it. You feel good. Kids are awesome. It's great helping families.
Yeah, my sister Mary has had an in-home daycare in New Prague for over 30 years. She does a wonderful job with it. And Mary put up a post recently on Facebook because she's got a couple openings in this summer for families. And the amount of comments that Mary got from people in and around New Prague. I mean, it was just so wonderful to see all the families, the parents, the kids. Some of the kids even commented about that relationship and the love that Mary has shown them. I mean, she's a very special person to have done that. And yeah, God bless all the daycare providers out there because it really does take a certain person.
Oh my gosh, it is a labor. It's a labor of love, and you do. It's fun even to this day. Now, I sold my last center probably in 2001, 2002. But to this day, I will still run into now 28-year-olds with their own kids where they'll come up and say, Mr. Wolmering, I was, so-and-so in your toddler room. and I will, of course, remember the name. And so it is fun.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to my brother, Tom. Tom is out on the East Coast right now. Tom is a longtime teacher here in Minnesota. And Tom has 3 daughters. One of his daughters, Elise, is graduating from college this weekend. And she is going to be going on to law school. So a big congratulations to Elise O'Neill and my dear brother, Thomas. And 3 girls, Scott, 3 girls, all of them are doing great in life. So that's a big deal. College graduation this weekend.
Very, very exciting. That reminds me of, so if you were not going to be a real estate agent and you were to go into a different field, have you ever thought that you would have been good at this field or something that maybe people would be shocked that you would have done if you wouldn't have gotten into real estate?
Yeah. What about you? You have somebody?
The reason I thought about it is your niece, you said?
Yeah. My niece.
Your niece. I would have liked to have been an attorney.
Yeah.
I would have enjoyed being an attorney. I would have enjoyed being an attorney in the courtroom. I would not enjoy being an attorney that reads 9,000 books, which is a lot of what the work is. But I would have loved to have done that.
You would have been good at one of Scott's one thing he is very good at is Scott has a high emotional intelligence. And I've always said as like a psychologist, you would be very good. Now, again, you have been twice divorced, but to your credit, you are very good friends. You called me about a week ago. Both of your ex-wives who are friends were together. You guys were driving somewhere. I know both of them. I'm friends with them as well, of course. But to your credit, all of the kids, you guys get together. You have very good relationships. But you're really good about that human relationship thing. You get that from your mom, don't you?
Well, actually, yeah. Side note: my mom and I were actually thinking about doing a relationship podcast.
You need to do that.
Yeah, and she lives in Illinois, so it'd have to be something we would do. But I would enjoy that. You're correct. I would have. If it wasn't an attorney, I would have enjoyed being a psychologist. Especially when it comes to relationships, I'm kind of a get in the weeds guy on that stuff.
Yeah, we've got a couple of the questions that have come in. 612-294-6949. This one just said, guys, are granite countertops still in or are they out? Granite countertops, Scott, are they in or out?
I would say what they are is they've dropped down the pecking order.
Yeah.
15 years ago, granite was like, if you were putting granite in, that was the thing. And then it went to quartz. And now there's so many variations of stone, different kinds of stones, and what's cool and what's not. So yeah, I would say that it is definitely better to have granite than it is to have any kind of a Formica in your house. But it does pale a little bit with some of the Corian that's out there and some of the other kind of hard surfaces.
Yeah, it is interesting just with some of the different finishes that are coming through. Again, this one, what is the most Minnesota thing you've ever seen at an open house? The most Minnesota thing you've ever seen at an open house. It's interesting. One thing they always tell home sellers is to take down a lot of your personal pictures, family pictures, kind of personal things. They say it's harder for the buyer sometimes to visualize themselves in the house if you've got everything around. I'm just trying to think of something Minnesotan, Scott. Can you think of anything? That's an interesting question.
Well, and that question comes in periodically through the year. Ryan always gets mad at me because my answer to that is it depends on if you have a good-looking family or not.
Scott.
If you do or if you do not. And the reason that I say that, people are going to get mad at me. It's true. Think about it. If you've gone into a house and it is a very cool looking family, that's a good vibe. You can see yourself there. If it happens to be a very unattractive family,
You're terrible.
I'm just telling the truth. I would take those pictures down. I've seen it play out many, many times where you get this good, warm feeling. If you have a family of 3 with young kids and you see another family of 3 with young kids pictures, it gives you a better feeling.
It is interesting though. I would encourage just photos in general. So the new buyer can picture themselves in the home. Removing those, I'm always a fan of this one though, guys. With HOAs, are HOAs a blessing or a curse? HOAs a blessing or a curse? Right now,
They're a curse.
They have become not great at all with insurance, rising costs, difficulty in resale. Scott,
people that have lived through them, that have gone through an association, a lot of times will not have anything to do with associations again. You got to remember when you go to a place with an association, you are involving humans in your life, how you live, where you live, what you can put in your yard, what you can put in your driveway. You're involving other people's opinions in your life. So if you're a person that, look, you want to put your Bobcat on the driveway, probably an association is probably not your thing. If you want to park your boat in the street, probably association's not your thing.
And the hard thing too is privacy as well. If you think about, if you're used to, living in a spot where you don't have neighbors super close or neighbors wondering, hey, why is that person over there now? Or I saw this car come over there. When you get a lot of people living together, I've found as, again, a small landlord, problems can happen. Yeah. When you got a lot of people living close together, the intentions are good. But again, landlords, you can probably nod your head as you're hearing this. People don't always play nicely in the sandbox, and you hear about it as the landlord.
Well, and the thing with associations, I don't know why that's a big deal. Comment needs to get out of your head because it's never going to be a big deal to you. You want to put in a garden in your townhome. Well, that's a reasonable request. Well, nobody else in the townhome has gardens. They're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt that you're going to take exceptional care of your garden and it's going to look pristine. They're not going to let you do a garden.
Yeah.
And if you're a garden person, that's going to tick you off. Don't live in an association.
Hey, we're up against our final break. Before we do, Linda Hipp, awesome agent on the Minnesota real estate team and RE/MAX Advantage Plus. She has one down in Albert Lea, 510 West Ridgeway Drive in Albert Lea for $285,000. This is a 4-bed, 3-bath Rambler. It's on a wonderful treed lot overlooking the city park and community gardens. It's just kitty corner from the boat launch, built in 1957, almost 3,000 square feet, very well maintained, 3 bedrooms, open floor plan, lots of updates. You've got a spacious kitchen with sliding glass doors leading to the concrete patio. On the back, you've got a large wraparound deck, It spans the entire front of the home. Cool. Major mechanicals have been updated, including a furnace, AC washer, dryer in the last 5 years, new water heater, and a newer concrete driveway and a stone retaining wall. Check this out, 510 West Richway Drive in Albert Lea for $285,000. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Isn't it amazing? You think about it. Again, obviously Albert Lee's, further south, but 285 grand. You just think about location. They always say with real estate, location, location, location. It's really the truth. Again, that house, you move it up to wherever in the Twin Cities, at least double.
Yeah, it is
Triple.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's interesting. I had a only listing that I never had a showing on.
Really?
Never had a showing on it. It was a house in Lakeville. The gentleman was a prominent figure. I will say this in Apple Valley. I won't say who he was. And he wanted to list his house at $999,000, and it was a $650,000 house. And his argument was, if I put that house in Minnetonka, it'd be worth $3 million. If he put it in Boston, it would be worth $10 million. And he's correct.
Yeah.
Problem is, it wasn't on Lake Minnetonka, and it wasn't in Boston. It was in a neighborhood in Lakeville that $650,000 at that time would have been the top offer, or the top sale in the entire neighborhood. And so yeah, I told him we will not get a showing on it, but it was a friend. So I listed it for him, and he went through 4 agents in 5 years.
Oh, no.
And eventually sold it for $725 grand. So
really?
yeah. So sometimes people just have to go through a little pain.
Yeah, it is. It is, the interesting thing, sometimes as sellers, it's hard to understand. You may feel like the agent is, hey, the agent's trying to push me to get a price reduction. Perhaps it's commission oriented to do that. And the reality of it again is obviously the agent doesn't get paid unless it sells, and the commission difference in that type of thing. Yeah,
minuscule. It's a non thing.
Yeah, I mean, really, any good agent will have the ethics that wants to get the most money for you, but they have to be honest with you too, and not just kind of tickle your ears. And the easy thing to do the first number of years in the business is kind of tickle the ears. Hey, I got a listing. You maybe get a buyer off it. Maybe you get some other activity, but really you want to help the person sell the thing. So you got to be honest.
Oh, there are agents that make a living. It is definitely anyone that's worked with our team. We do not operate this way. We operate with real information so you can make real life decisions. But there are agents that make a living out of overpricing properties, getting a lot of them, reducing, getting business off the listings they have. It is a grinding way to sell real estate, and I don't believe. Well, it's not in the seller's best interest, but there are a lot of agents that do that. Why would my neighbor's house list at $900,000? Why would that agent do that?
Hey, when is Jordan due again?
She's due July 11th.
Wow.
July 11th. So we are very, very excited. So today is her baby shower.
Do we know if it's a boy or a girl, and have we announced it?
Scarlett.
Wow.
Yeah, Scarlett. So it'll be she will be the first grandchild at all, but it'll be exciting.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
Call her Scar.
Scar? I like Scarlett. That's a beautiful name. Thanks for all the comments and joining us Memorial Day weekend as well to all those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, family, friends. Thank you. It's hard to believe it's Memorial Day, Scott.
Oh my gosh, yeah, this was a big. My dad was a full colonel in the Army, so this was a big deal with him.
Yeah.
And, it's for everybody that's lost their life in the armed forces, and we tip our hats to my dad and to everybody else out there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going back live on air here on CCO. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Welcome back to the final segment of the Minnesota Real Estate Show. 2 other listings to touch on, Scott. Laura Antolik has one in St. Anthony, 2905 Townview Avenue, Northeast in St. Anthony, 54099. This is a move-in ready rambler. It's in the heart of St. Anthony. It's got an open floor plan, large family room addition, 3 bedrooms on the main floor, 2 fully updated baths. You've got a kitchen with maple cabinets, granite countertops, tile floors, stainless steel appliances, oversized 2.5 car garage, maintenance-free concrete driveway, and a great deck. as well, partially fenced and private yard. That one is nice, 2905 Townview Avenue Northeast in St. Anthony. And then the other one is in Lakeville, Scott, 16373 Elm Creek Lane in Lakeview for $269,900. This is a move-in ready, 3-bed, 3-bath townhome. It's in school district 196. You've got an upper level with 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, a laundry closet. Primary bedroom is with a large walk-in closet. Garage is oversized, has an additional bump out section for extra storage. Very updated home, Laura says, 16373 Elm Creek Lane in Lakeville, $269,900, 3-bed, 3-bath. And Scott, we were just talking about Grandpa Larry. We want to give a shout out to all the CCO listeners, family, friends. Memorial Day, honoring those who died while serving our country. We again send our thanks, our gratefulness for family, friends, acknowledging the fallen. And so thinking of everybody here this Memorial Day, Scott.
Yeah, we are. It's a good, obviously a great weekend for family and everybody to get together and enjoy that. But we do need to keep it in our mind of what it's for, and all the people that have given that sacrifice is incredible. We had the question that came in that I just realized we really didn't answer. The most Minnesota thing you've ever seen at an open house. I'm not sure what the listener is getting after. Are they thinking like they were cooking casserole dishes, or what would be Minnesotans? I think some of the common things we see at open houses are cookies that are made so the house smells better, things like that. But I'm kind of blanking on the Minnesota thing.
We had one here, Deanna Scott, a friend, longtime great agent. She said an old rusty tractor in the backyard.
Would be a Minnesota thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Leaving an old rusty tractor. It's interesting though. It is kind of an interesting. Speaking of Minnesota, Scott, tater tot hot dish.
Yes.
Is it a must-have or overrated?
Well, I'll tell you what. I put tater tot hot dish right above green bean casserole, so it's somewhere in that pecking order. It's there. It's not sure it's an absolute, but you definitely do see it.
Yeah, it is interesting. Negotiations, we haven't on the show over the years, we've talked a little bit about negotiations, but one thing I would say, if you are a buyer in a multiple offer situation, make your first offer your best offer. You will most oftenly, you don't get another chance to renegotiate. You may say, well, look, I would have paid more. Or why didn't they come back to me? Remember, the listing agent represents the seller. So you got to make your offer your best offer on that first time, Scott.
Yeah, that's right. And again, this is where it's more important than ever to make sure that you are dealing with an agent that is representing you, that you trust. Not that they're trying to sell you a house, but that they're advising you the best way they possibly can for you to get a house. Most buyers make a mistake, what Ryan is just saying. They go in and they leave a little bit in the tank. They don't want to go, because in your mind, you're like, well, why would I put my best foot forward? Well, in a multiple offer situation, not only is it putting your best foot forward, it's making sure you're making no mistakes. You're not asking for anything that is immediately going to throw you out of it. 10 offers on the property, I can tell you right now, 75% of them are going to waive their inspection. So if you're asking for an inspection, you're probably not going to get the house. 75% of them are going to have a guaranteed appraisal gap, meaning if it comes in low, they're going to gap the appraisal. If you're not doing that, your agent can have an S on his chest or her chest. They're not going to get you the house. So you do need to at least know, look, you have a 60% chance of getting this house based on what the offer is. Do you want to adjust it or change it? And you have to be working with an agent that you believe is telling you the truth.
Yeah, this one just said, is there a home feature that immediately makes you say no or makes you say nope? Is there something, that home feature? I can think of a couple things.
Well, there's a ton. I mean, smell is your automatic when you walk in the door.
Smell is tough.
Smell's the biggest killer.
Smoke smell or particular foods. Maybe you're a great chef,
Yep.
But again, you got to think about, what does it smell like?
That's right. If you back to a busy road, you will have a lot of people that set showings up that drive in the driveway and drive out. And it will be a frustrating experience.
That's
for you.
hard.
Why won't they show the house? Because it doesn't matter if you have gold in the walls. They're not buying a house that's on a busy road. There's a percentage of people that just will not.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of anything else that immediately. So I would say, yeah, location is tough. Location's very hard. I lived on a busy street, and as a first-time home buyer, I probably made the mistake of buying there, but I loved it. But again, when I sell, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough thing. Hey, Scott, the show went by quickly. We're already wrapping up here. Last thoughts for people?
Yeah, last thoughts. Again, out to all the families, enjoy the weekend, enjoy your families, make sure you stay safe. If you're drinking, don't drive. So all that kind of stuff. Other than that, real estate, we're getting into prime time here. This is May, and this is starting to get as good as it gets. So if you're getting a little bit long on the tooth, if you're listening, get with your agent, get proactive, because your next 2 months are really going to be your prime for getting the property sold.
Have fun at the shower.
Yes, I will.
Grandpa Scott is going to be in action here before we know it. Thanks everybody for listening to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. If you are a buyer, seller, investor, please don't ever hesitate to reach out. Our team would be honored to help you. We really work all over Minnesota, Western Wisconsin. Reach out anytime. Hope you and your families have a great Memorial Day. And thanks to Josh Wheeler for coming in this weekend too. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for joining us on social media. Hope the weekend is a good one. I can't believe it's Memorial Day.
It's crazy. I mean, I can't believe we're halfway through the real estate year.
Yeah.
End of May is the 6-month period, really.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to believe, but hope you and your families can do something fun this weekend. Again, just a shout out to my niece, Elise. Congratulations on her graduation. It's a big deal. Going to be an attorney, first one in the O'Neill family,
That's
like Bob.